And welcome back to day one of this Para-Dressage European Championships. We complete this afternoon with the Grade 3 individual, already crowning 2 European champions earlier today with the Grade 2 and 1. And 11 riders will come forward for this competition. We have 6 in this first group, followed by a short break, and the remaining competitors will go in the second group. So those riders just getting ready to enter the arena now. The first rider due down the centre line at 2:30. And this Grade 3 will be a very exciting one to watch. We have Tobias Thorning Joergensen coming later on in the second group, the current European, World and Paralympic champion. So he will be expecting to head to the top of that leaderboard. But a number of other riders have had a really great year, and a couple of the medalists from last year's World Championships not here this year, so it's all to play for. So first into the arena for this Grade 3 individual championship, representing Portugal. Portugal having 2 riders at this championship, both competing as individuals. We have Pedro Paletti Felix, who rides the 12-year-old stallion Grigio. So this Grade 3 test, still in the 20x40 arena that we've seen Grade 1 and 2 compete in earlier today. But this test starts to show the introduction of the lateral work in trot, so they'll be showing some leg yield. There's a bit more of the trot work than we saw in the Grade 2. Still not moving up into canter yet. But we see the smaller circles, more changes of directions, tighter turns, as well as those trot leg yields, and also those movement favoured by a lot of riders, the warp pirouette that everybody loves to ride. And this test is a real technical challenge to the horses, for the horses and the riders. So that first trot sequence, the horse turns on the diagonal, expects a medium trot, and it isn't one. It's that diagonal circle, diagonal, and then the next time it is one. So you really kind of curb any anticipation, and a little bit the same with that leg yield. You have to turn on that 3/4 line. The judges want to see the horse go straight. It can't anticipate the leg yield. Just overshooting that hot rein back there. So you really need the horse to be soft and relaxed for the transitions, but also really thinking forwards and taking you, because it's a very fiddly stop-start test. So you see here, just preparing for that turn on the haunches and doing a really good job of that. Really setting the horse up, just not quite seeing that suppleness that we'd want to see and softness through the movements. You can just see the horse wanting to quicken and brace a little bit against the rider. Just unfortunately sticking in that turn. The horse just backing off going into it and thinking a little bit backwards, and then you saw those hind legs just sticking and pivoting. You want to keep the rhythm of the walk within the pirouette, so the horse keeps stepping rather than that stuck moment. And again, this serpentine really challenging the horse's obedience. A lot going on in the serpentine. You have the shape of the serpentine. It highlights the suppleness of the horse, the change of bend, and then those walk transitions that you want to show really nicely positioned as you cross the center line. But it happens very quickly. You have the turn onto the serpentine, the transition, and then preparing for the new bend as well. So the horse really needing to be on your aids, on your seat. There's not much time to establish that walk rhythm. Showing really nice balance actually there through the change of bend. It can be quite difficult to get the positioning of those circles right. You don't have any markers when you're in the middle of the arena to guide you so much. So you have to really use your spatial awareness to know where you are in the arena. And it really highlights when you're not at X. The judges on the center line can see it, and on the BE line can see it too. We moved quite nicely into that leg yield. Again, you just want to see a little bit more softness and relaxation. For those higher marks, the horse just sometimes gets a little bit quick and tense, but we're seeing this is a really nice, he's doing a really nice job of preparing the horse for the movements. So you saw that nice change of bend there where we got the straight steps on the center line before preparing for the new circle. And just stepped backwards in that halt, but looking really straight. I think he's pleased. Good pats for the horse. And there's so much going on in these grade 3 tests. And in a small arena, it keeps the rider very busy. There's a lot to prepare. There's a lot to think about for the riders and the judges. So you really need the horse balanced on your aids, responsive, taking you forwards so that you can set them up for all these movements. There isn't a lot of free time in between them. And we're hearing some big applause for this Portuguese rider. It's lovely to see such a willing horse that wants to be in the arena and enjoying his time in the arena as well. Very obedient. And the rider's enjoying some very nice weather this week. I think some might be enjoying it more than others while they're wearing their jackets. Can be quite a warm environment to be competing in. Some riders and horses might struggle more than others. For some it will suit them, and others might need to manage their warm-up and think about how they can cut the time down for their warm-up and get there a little bit quicker. And these are all things that the riders have to think about and have to consider and have to try this out as much as possible, which is really difficult if you aren't used to riding in warmer conditions and you've not had the opportunity to try it. So it's really about knowing your horse, knowing how the horse copes, knowing yourself and your own fitness levels and fatigue levels. And next into the arena, we will have the first rider for Ireland. This is Katie Riley. She rides the 10-year-old gelding Impulse W, but here we have scores for Pedro, a 63.300. So that puts him in first place provisionally. And Katie, a very exciting new young rider for Ireland. I think she's not even 16 yet, so she's had some really good shows this year to campaign for this championship. And this horse, super talented, but this new combination, a super combination for Ireland, and really going to gain valuable experience at this championship. So entering the arena for Ireland, the first of their Grade 3 riders competing here. And just struggling, the horse just drifting a little bit to the right, which then made this right turn a little bit tricky. It's quite a tight turn onto that diagonal anyway. But doing a good job to get him back. So just, you can see again, just really losing him through this right side a little bit more. You can just see struggling to keep the straightness. I don't know what he spotted, but really very unfortunate distraction there. And well managed by Katie, so just feeling like she's not going to get him round there. And let's get him away from whatever's spooking him. Open him out a little bit. So it was unfortunate actually. The whip is on the left side, so she didn't have much backup to encourage him off that right leg. And you could just see just that right side being a real challenge to keep control of that today. Looking a little bit settled, moving away from that bottom corner and whatever he's seen there. Just the second half of that turn actually a lot better than the start, just gaining control of those quarters towards the end of that. And showing a little bit of stretch here, just obviously would like to see a bit more. She's struggling a little bit with whatever the horse has been distracted by. So that tension just creeping in. You can just see where he was blocking his body a little bit. And a much better turn on the haunches this way. So you can just see when she has to do a movement where she needs to gain control of the right side. She's struggling a little bit more with it today. And going towards that side is really tricky. And that's an unfortunate error there. A double coefficient this serpentine, so it will be a double hit for Katie, unfortunately. But just doing a really good job to get the horse round. The only thing she can do is try to improve this horse as the test goes on, give him confidence, and build on this for the rest of the week. And a much easier diagonal circle, diagonal movement this way. And you can see the horse has a lot of quality when he settles and stays with Katie. Yeah, well done. She's just got his focus around the top of there. Now we're back into the swing of it. Nice leg yield this way. And that was a shame because the horse has a lot of quality. A little bit small, that walk circle, but I think she might be just taking a little bit what she's getting at the moment. Yeah, better size that way. So just that right side and controlling that right side, a little bit more of a challenge today. But the horse getting better and better through the test and settling and staying with her, and Katie doing a very good job to manage that. I think she's a little bit relieved to finish that, a big sigh of relief. So tough when it just isn't going to plan in the arena, and the one moment you really want it to, and the test is so fiddly. It just doesn't offer many opportunities to give you a break and get the horse back on side. It's so busy and so tricky to keep the horse's balance anyway, that if they're a bit distracted and a bit holding, you really struggle. But she did a super job to manage that. And I think she can build on that through the week. It won't be what she'll have been hoping for, but there's definitely more to come from this pair. And hopefully she can come out in a couple of days for the team and get back in the arena and produce some more good work. So Ireland got another rider coming in a couple of riders' time. But the next rider into the arena will be for Italy. We'll just wait for those scores to come through for Katie, and here they are. So 63.400. So not where she has been this year, but a very good job given the circumstances and very well managed. So Katie goes into the lead at this point. But we have 9 riders left to come forward. So she'll be also have in mind that qualification spot for the freestyle. So if she can come out in a couple of days' time and build on that performance, she'll be in a good position to try to qualify through for that. And there's Ireland's second rider preparing to compete in a few riders' time. Starting to get a little bit busier today. So good to see a number of spectators coming forward to watch the paradressage. So nice having dressage and paradressage competing alongside each other at the same venue. Really builds on the occasion and really helps to draw people in who might not have travelled out to see paradressage specifically, but they might stop and see them competing, and that's how we gain interest, and it's a huge opportunity for us and the sport. So next into the arena, in this first group of riders in this grade 3, representing Italy, Francesca Salvade. She rides the 6-year-old gelding Ascari. It's a relatively new horse for Francesca. Just 6 years old. She'll be looking to gain some valuable experience here as well as for this competition, but looking ahead for the Paralympics next year. Entering the arena now for Italy. And a super entrance. Not hanging around in the hole. Some sometimes you don't want to stand too still and create an issue. You just have to go with them. Some super trot work here. The horse in a really lovely frame, really quality steps. Showing that nice swing, that nice suspension in the trot. A really lovely line on that diagonal, circle diagonal. Very nice from this 6-year-old. Very good steps in that medium. You could just see the horse just steps up and out as if the horse was traveling up a hill, and that's what they mean by that uphill picture and uphill tendency, and that's where the expression comes. Nicely into that leg yield, just trailing the quarters a tiny bit. But we don't know what level the horse has done. That might be deliberate. Very obedient. The horse looks like it's got a very nice brain. To come into this atmosphere and look so settled is a real highlight and a real positive element to this horse and its potential. Just sitting very quietly in this walk work as she prepares. Just got a little bit of a disruption of rhythm there. And a stick, unfortunately, that inside hind leg just sticking towards the end. Some nice stretch. The horse a little bit hesitant in the middle there, but really trying and taking the rein forwards. Francesca just sitting very quietly, not to disrupt the rhythm of the walk. And better this way, riding quite boldly into that turn on the haunches, but actually keeping the activity, and the positioning was quite good for that. Nicely into that walk, just coming back a little bit in the middle, so you really want to see the horse stepping through and keeping that forward flow. Yeah, good. You could just see her, she just gave the rein a little bit more in that transition as she went into the walk, so the horse could take the rein forwards and keep moving. Very nicely managed. And this movement really tests the horse. They often anticipate the medium trot when they hit the diagonal, and it really highlights the balance, the suppleness. There's lots of changes of rein and bend. Some nice steps here. Just want to see a little bit more softness, a bit more supple through the body. Just for those big marks. Nicely into that leg yield. You can really see that moment that she moved from that straight 3/4 line into the leg yield. The judges don't want to see the horses drifting or falling. They want that clear moment on that EB line where you go from trotting in a straight line to asking for that leg yield and the horse responding straight away. Just a little bit of anticipation there. You can see the horse is so willing and eager to go, which is a really nice quality to have. It's just trying to manage it within this walk work. Just could have a little bit more relaxation. And again, they're just doing a super job of holding it together for his rider. And a nice test there from Francesca. She will be thrilled with this lovely young horse. A few little mistakes. I think she's She's probably a little bit frustrated about the walk work because it was just towards the end of the test and they'd done such a super job up until then. But this horse just has the most wonderful temperament, and another year or even another couple of days, we'll see how they are at the end of the week. There's so much to build on with them as a partnership, and it's such a nice place for her to be with this young horse. His first championship, and walks out on a long rein. What a lovely horse, and what an exciting talent for the future. Super riding from the Italian. And she will also be thinking about those medals, but also the top qualifiers for the freestyle. And there's her score, 71.300. And she goes straight into the lead at this point in the class. So a solid score for Italy. I suspect we'll see some higher scores as we move on through the class, but that's a very good score to put down on this horse, just 6 years old, with so much more still to come. And next in this group of riders will be one of those riders hoping to find a spot on the podium. She medalled a couple of years ago at the last Europeans. Representing Belgium. A very experienced rider and an experienced partnership with this horse as well. So just 3 riders left in this first group of grade 3 riders. And then we'll have a short break before the final 5 will come forwards. And towards the end of this group, we have Germany's representative, who has had a super year. So she'll be looking to see what she can do in the grade 3 after her teammates medalled earlier today. But next into the arena, representing Belgium, is Barbara Minneci, and she rides the 14-year-old gelding Stuart. So Barbara actually used to compete side saddle in these para classes and switched to riding astride a couple of years ago. And for some riders, the width of the horse can make a massive difference. If they have limitations with their pelvis, or their balance can be affected, or their nerves, then sometimes a wider horse can be more of a challenge. But this chestnut gelding, Stuart, has been a really super ride for her, and she's had some great scores with him. She chooses to ride with 2 whips like a number of riders do, and they're part of her compensating aids. As para riders, we're allowed to have adaptations to our tack to enable us to give the horse aids. So riders in the lower grade are also able to use their voice. And this horse shows some lovely trot work. She just needs to keep him up in the poll, keep that balance back on the hind legs. Sometimes he tends to the power gets a bit too much and he drops down in front and gets a little bit on the forehand. But he has a really soft way of going. Some super steps in the medium there. Just keep the push when you come back. Well managed. Nicely onto that 3/4 line. And then some good parallel steps there. Not quite square into the hole, but very good immobility. The horse could just pick his feet up and be a bit cleaner in the rein back. Sometimes drags the feet a little bit. You want those clear diagonal pairs. So you can see her now just starting to prepare for the positioning for the turn. Just a tiny bit of quickness in the middle of that, and lost a little bit of positioning towards the end, but some good steps. Kept moving, didn't stick. Showing some good stretch in the free walk here. So Barbara opting to give the rein and lean forward a little bit so she didn't have so much to gather back at the end. It's quite a quick transition from free walk into this medium walk to prepare for the turn on the haunches and then back up into trot. So you haven't got time to be fiddling with your reins, and that second turn on the haunches showing better positioning. Obediently into the trot. Again, just keep him up in the frame, keep that balance back, snatching the rein a little bit in that walk. You want the horse completely in self-carriage. Just he looks a little bit on the rein at times. But cleanly through the serpentine. A little bit of irregularity on that circle, just a little bit of lack of suppleness coming through, and Barbara just having to keep him pushing, so stay in front of me. You just see it with the slight hover in the steps. Just riding forward, and you just saw there, she just said, "Come on, wake up, we've got to do a medium." And then she got some nice steps. Just could ride the transition back a little bit better, just tending to fade out a little bit, and with the really high marks you'll see the riders really ride that transition and make a definite start and finish to the medium. So there is, that transition is marked. And very straight on the centre line, nicely into walk. So in the test, it doesn't define, there isn't a point you need to walk, it's between D and X. So some riders will ride it a little bit sooner as they turn the centre line if they have a good walk and want to show it off, and also to set them up for the circles. And other riders will ride a little bit less of the walk and ride the transition a little bit later. So it's all about your horse and what shows the horse off in the best way. And a very nice final centre line and a good straight halt. A super job for Barbara. A lot of whooping, I think. She looks happy, big smiles. She has such a lovely partnership with this horse as well. They've been together a few years now and really trust each other, and it's so nice to see that. You can just see how much quality the horse does have. It's a really scopy horse with a lot of ability, and they make a really nice partnership. Teammates just watching on there as they head over for the tack check, taking the horses into the shade. Stunning venue, and here's her score, 69.333. So she goes into second place at this point, behind Francesca for Italy. So a solid score for Belgium, and a good score for that qualification later in the week. So both tests will count as part of the qualification through to the freestyle. So really wanting consistent performances for that. And it really is good to see so many spectators coming out to watch this competition. But next into the arena, Ireland's second rider in this class. And riding for Ireland this time is Jessica McKenna. She rides the 13-year-old gelding Davidoff, a 188. And this rider is making a championship debut, but this horse is not. And this horse is fairly experienced. The former rider of Caroline Nielsen for Team Denmark also competed in Grade 3. And so I competed against this horse at the World Championships in 2018. So he has been around and will hopefully, Super Holt, will hopefully give Jessica a good ride at her championship debut. They've had some super results this year, and they're a really nice combination to watch. So hopefully she can produce something today, and a very good start. And they went to Kronenberg in June earlier this year for their first big international abroad, and didn't have the greatest of times, but said they learned so much about the horse, how he travels, what he needs, and how best to prepare him. So hopefully that has put them in a really good place for this competition. Showing some really nice work, just looking like she went into that leg yield a little bit early and just lost a bit of control of the outside and hitting the track a bit before the marker, but showing some consistent work. Just want to take a breather. Just swinging out on that turn on the haunches, just losing the quarters. That right side has slightly, maybe weaker side. Just losing the quarters a little bit and then pushing out that way. Some good stretch. Again, just leaning forwards with the rein to allow him the space so she doesn't then have to get her rein back. Yeah, much better this way. So managed to keep control of that left side and the quarters through that turn on the haunches much better. And just want to make sure he keeps his balance a little bit up in front, not getting a little bit down in the forehand there. They just want to maintain that uphill picture, keep him engaged and sitting, but cleanly through this trot serpentine. nice positioning for that diagonal circle movement. You could just see she moved his shoulders over on that diagonal line, preparing him for that circle, and kept good control of the quarters as she came back onto the centre line. A better picture there, just keep him up in front. Keep that self-carriage, and you can see there's real scope with this horse. Ride straight, just maybe going into that leg yield a little bit early again. It's a really fine line. You've got to keep that straightness on that 3/4 line and that really clear transition into the leg yield as you hit the EB line. The walk not quite showing that really true over track at times, where you get that V-shaped, showing the 4-beat rhythm, but keeping really nice rhythm and shape of those circles, very consistent, and nicely into that final halt. And I think she'll be pleased with that. She'll be relieved to have completed her first championship test, I think. It's a real family affair. And just so great to see her on the championship stage still so early in her career. I think at one competition she couldn't believe how old I was. So at 34 I'm old. I suppose I am compared to some. But still so early in their career, and a very exciting partnership, and just nice to have a good ride there. The big pats for Davidoff and Team Ireland. And exciting team for them as a team as well. For Ireland, they've got a few good scorers and young combinations that are improving as well. So really exciting for the future, and exciting for this team competition later this week. And we'll wait for those scores to come through before our final rider in this first group. And there we have it, 66.43467. So that puts her into third at this moment in time. So just ahead of her teammate. Ireland sat in third and fourth at the moment, riding for those individual medals, but also to get in that top group to qualify through for the freestyle. So we've got one more rider in this first group for this grade 3 individual, and this rider representing Germany has had a very good year so far. So she will be excited to see what she can do in front of this home crowd here. Germany having a fab time so far with 2 medals in the grade 1 and grade 2 earlier today. So representing Germany, Melanie Wienand rides the 10-year-old gelding Lemony's Loverboy. And they've had some super results so far this year on the international circuit. They make a very nice picture as a combination. And a big support team there watching on. So representing Germany, Melanie Wienand. And a good start, very good immobility, a slight wobble on that transition out, but quickly corrected. And for the riders, it's so tempting on that turn to lean in and try and push the horses out, but you can just see a few of them coming around that corner and the horse is falling to the right, and it's almost the opposite to what you should be doing. Some really nice expression in this trot work, a really nice uphill frame, showing a good difference there. Nicely into that leg yield. Well corrected then. The quarter started trailing a little bit and she just caught them. Good preparation for the halt. Could just step back, unfortunately. A brilliantly square halt, but it was a backwards correction. We want to see them stepping forwards and under. I just wanted to see a little bit more suppleness in the trot work. There's a lot of elasticity with his natural movement, but you can just see when some of the smaller turns come up, just doesn't quite have that softness and suppleness to be able to manage them. Some good walk here. And okay, so slightly turned into that turn on the haunches, but then got better throughout and gained the positioning. The horse kept stepping and nicely into this free walk, showing some good steps and some nice stretch. So they're able to lengthen the rein to give the space for him to go into. Let's see how this one is. Yeah, much better positioning going into this. Nearly lost the activity, but very well managed. So you just saw in that turn on the haunches this way, the horse bending around her right leg, bending through the body, which we didn't quite see on that left side. And nicely up into this trot. Again, you just don't quite see the suppleness for the higher marks on these turns. To be super critical, but very obediently into the walk. Nice straightness we can see there. Just really highlighted on these turns. It's showing a really nice rhythm through this trot, really waiting and taking her time. Again, just you can see that a little bit of tightness and tension comes in. The horse just not quite able to show the suppleness for those circles. It's showing some really nice lift in the trot. So just a little bit of quickening in this medium rather than lengthening. You want to see the tempo not really changing and the horse, the stride getting longer and bigger to cover the ground rather than it getting faster. you just saw that little bit of rhythm variation in that leg yield, just the horse not laterally supple enough to maintain it. Nicely into the walk. More able to show the correct bend through these walk circles. Nicely ridden straight before moving on to this left circle. And very nearly losing the straightness, but nicely into that halt. Well corrected from her. And big, big cheers from this home crowd. Big smile on her face. Shows her appreciation. It's so nice to see these riders getting the support that they deserve. And some really quality work from this combination. The horse has a really super attitude, and Melanie is a very nice rider, stays in a good balance with her horse, and they make a very nice picture. They look very, very happy with that performance. A very happy horse and rider leaving the arena there. And we'll just be getting that score through in a moment. That was the last rider in this first group of riders. So following this, we'll have a short break, and then we'll be back for the second group of these Grade 3 riders to decide the medals. And this second group of riders is not one to be missed. So here we go, 72.633, and she goes into the lead at this point in the competition. Massive scores for 68.5 to 77.3. So a big, big variation across the board there. But here is our final standing at this point in the competition. Melanie for Germany sits in the gold medal position. Francesca for Italy sits in silver on 71.3, and Barbara Minneci for Belgium sits in bronze on 69.333. So we will be having a short break now, and the next rider will be in at 4 o'clock.
And now we are going into a short break, and we will be back at 4 o'clock.
Gate is inside. Yeah. Gate is inside.
And welcome back to this second group in the individual Grade 3 competition. 5 riders left to go, and definitely some ones to watch in this final group. We will have the reigning World, European and Paralympic champion Tobias Thorning Joergensen going in just a few riders' time. Currently, Germany sitting at the top of the podium with Melanie Wienand on 72.633. Italy in silver on 71.3 with Francesca Salvade, and Belgium in the bronze medal position with Barbara Minneci and Stewart. So 69.333 the score to beat to get onto that podium at the moment. And the first of this next group of riders will be one hoping to do so as we build up to the Paralympic Games in Paris next year. Representing France, Chiara Zenati rides the 17-year-old gelding Swing Royale. This horse previously ridden by another French rider, so very experienced, matched up with Chiara a few years ago, and she's had a super year internationally so far this year. Several wins under her belt and some very good scores, so she is definitely going to be one to watch in this Grade 3 individual class. 72.633 is that current gold medal position. But next in representing France, and she rides with just the one hand, so those reins, split reins that are shortened so that she can have that control, really having to use her skill and finesse. You can see that right side affected, so holding that whip just to try and keep control of that weaker side so the horse doesn't get too strong an aid on the left side and not a lot from the right. Very difficult for riders with one side stronger than the other to keep that straightness, but it's not showing up through this movement. Some really super trot work coming through here in this first part of the test. Oh, and that's such a pity, that slight loss of rhythm in that medium. That medium trot, a real highlight of this horse's, but very quickly recovered, so not too expensive for her, and nicely into that leg yield. This horse has a very light and easy way of going, and it's a pleasure to watch them as a partnership. Not quite stepping through into that halt, and then she didn't get that square halt, and the rein back was a little bit on the forehand, but obediently back and into this walk work. So just could have prepared for that pirouette a little bit more, so a little bit straight going into it, so she didn't quite get the positioning, and a bit better towards the end. But that is her weaker side for her to gain control of that right side of the body. Some super stretch there, so just having to give that hand forwards to allow the rein. So you can see this way she finds it much easier to get the control of the outside of the horse's body, and nice positioning around that inside right leg. Very obediently up into trot. The horses can sometimes be a little bit backwards thinking after the pirouettes, but very nicely and cleanly into that trot. Very clean through that first walk transition. So just being careful not to get the balance too much on the rein. And then you get that abrupt stop and then you have to ride forward through that walk, and there really isn't very much space to be able to do that, but very well managed through that serpentine. Some nice changes of bend through that trot movement. Really good positioning. And when this horse's balance is in the right place, it's got a very nice uphill tendency and is very good through the shoulder. Very light-footed, very elegant. A better medium that time, kept the rhythm. And again, nice turn onto that 3/4 line, positioning before the leg guild and very nicely over. Just got to keep that straightness on the centre line. A little bit small to the right here. A good change of bend. So better size this way to the left. Got to find, you can see she was just turning a little bit early and just leg yielded out to find that centre line. And a good final hold. Very nice work there from the French rider. Sitting on just over 72, so it's going to be very close. She should find her way onto the podium. But if she can just pop into the lead at this point, that will put her in a very secure place. So 72.633 the score to beat from the German rider. And there's just so much quality from this partnership and really exciting for this week and even more so for next year. I think she had a couple of difficult rides in Tokyo, but they know each other so much better now and they're a really strong combination in this grade 3. Big smiles. It's looking warm out there. She's undone her jacket and just waiting for that final score. And I think some big scores coming through. We'll wait for those to come onto our screen. And it's a 72.900 and she goes into the lead at this point. Some great scores from 70 to 76. And that is a very, very good result for the French rider. With just 4 riders left to go in this class, she sits at the top of the medal podium. Super, super result. That's a big sigh of relief from the French supporters. And I think they will be very, very happy with that. That pushes Germany's rider down into the silver medal spot by 0.3%. And Francesca Salvade for Italy sits in bronze at the moment. So Barbara Minneci just slips off that podium into 4th with 69.3. But France sit in gold medal position at this point. But we still have Lotte from the Netherlands and the reigning European World and Paralympic champion Tobias for Denmark still to come. And the next rider into the arena representing Spain So Spain have 2 riders in this grade 3, still to come in this final group. Maria del Carmen Lopez Garcia, riding the 9-year-old stallion Bribon de Yemas. And Spain did come forward to this championship with a team of 3, but unfortunately, Felix Gomez, who was riding in the grade 2 earlier today, had to withdraw and retire from his test, so they are now down to 2 individual riders. So unfortunately not able to compete in the team competition, but first of the 2 individual riders entering the arena now for Spain. And not quite square and a little bit tense coming out, but settling into that trot nicely. Very quickly recovered. And this horse showing some really nice steps through the trot, keeping a nice rhythm. Doesn't quite have the scope of some of the other horses, but staying in a nice frame, just at times dropping a little bit down, but generally staying really nicely with his rider. We saw some good steps at the start of that medium, just not able to maintain it the whole way. And nicely into that leg yield, just the quarters trailing a little bit towards the end, just losing the shoulders through that right shoulder. So really needing to keep the horse parallel within that leg yield, not drifting out through the outside shoulder. And into this walk work, just looking for the horse to be a bit more relaxed, a bit more over the back, just settle into the rhythm. And just see a little bit keen at times, and the steps just get shorter and a bit choppier, but very good positioning in that turn on the haunches. The horse just almost backing off towards the end, but really catching that quickly and keeping the horse stepping so that it doesn't stick in that turn on the haunches. Showing some nice stretches and better walk steps. The horse just relaxes a little bit more. And again, some good positioning to start, with the horse just losing that little bit of forward momentum, and then you get that tiny stick and that pivot. So you really want to keep the horse, the 4-beat of the walk, and the horse moving forwards and thinking forwards within that turn on the haunches, which is a really tricky thing to be doing. But showing some nice bend on the serpentine. Again, that just tiny bit of tension through the walk. It's so difficult to get that forward thinking energy and that relaxation, and this serpentine really highlights both of them. The horse needs to be quick off the leg, taking you forwards, but relaxed straight away as you go into that walk. And it's a very difficult thing to ride. And if the horse is a little bit on their toes, you haven't got much time to establish the walk and settle them within it. So just backing off a little bit, you can just see just losing the quarters through the left side as the horse isn't quite able to show the suppleness on that circle so much. Just pushing out to cheat it a little bit. Yeah, some nice steps there. You could just see going into it, she just set him back a bit, and asked for a bit more push, and the horse really sat a bit more and pushed upwards. Just carry that pole. Keep him on the hind legs. And again, so this rider choosing to go into the walk fairly quickly on that centre line. So you've got to do it between D and X. Ready for these 2 walk circles at X. So some riders choose to turn down that centre line and move quickly into the walk to set them up for these circles, and others leave it a little bit later. So depending on what will suit your horse the best. So a little bit steadier on these walk circles than the first lot of walk, but just not quite relaxed and stepping through into it. So just the horse, just a little bit of tension and coming back, just makes those strides not quite as fluid and as open as they could be, but very well managed, and a super combination that I really think we'll see develop as this competition goes on and going into next year as well. Some real quality in there. And such a pity that the Spanish don't have the team to compete for the team competition anymore, but they do have these 2 individuals, and it's so great that now all riders will compete in a couple of days, not just the team riders, so that everyone has at least 2 chances in the arena. So if you have a difficult ride on the first day, you can build on it in the next competition, and then those average and the top 8 go through to the freestyle. So not just based on the individual competition as it has been previously. So it gives everyone a couple of rides in the arena, whether you qualify or whether you're riding for a team. And really helps to have that second chance to build on your score and build on the horse's experience for the future as well. So score for Spain, 64.933, so that goes into 6th place at this point in time. So just breaking up those 2 Irish riders who previously sat in 5th and 6th. And now 3 riders left to go, and this next rider is certainly going to be one looking to challenge for that podium position. So over 71.3% will get you onto the podium at this point. And Chiara Zenati still sitting in that top spot for France on 72.9. With 3 riders left to go. And that next rider, you can see just in your screen doing her last minute preparations, and in she comes. So entering the arena for the Netherlands, Lotte Krijnsen. She rides the 17-year-old mare Rosenstolz NOP. So the NOP standing for the... Oh, that was unfortunate. There's something really catching their eye in this arena today. But very well managed. And Lotte and this horse are a very solid partnership, known each other for a number of years, worked together for a long time, and the NOP standing for the nationally acquired horses to protect those horses for Olympic and Paralympic Games. So she was a member of the winning Dutch team at the World Championships last year and has had some very nice scores internationally this year. They're definitely on a mission today. And a good start for her. The horse not looking as settled as I've seen her, but Lotte doing a really good job of really attacking this test. She is riding for the big marks and she is not holding back. And this horse keeps a lovely rhythm through the work and stays in a very nice uphill frame. She just sometimes holds a little bit in her neck and her body, and just you see it on some of the turns. She could just be a little bit softer and a little bit more supple, but still super quality work. That would be hypercritical for the very big marks. But very cleanly through that first trot section. And just again, could just have prepared that a little bit better. So just came into that from quite a big walk and then had to very quickly stop her in front to turn her. So you just got that little bit of sticking in the pirouette where she wasn't quite bent around Lotte's inside leg. And she didn't quite have the positioning and just got a bit blocked. So, and that's just where she just was a little bit against her. So a little bit better that way. And nicely up into trot. So you see the marks just dropping down after that expensive walk work. Able to pick those marks back up through this trot, cleanly through that trot serpentine. Just going into walk a little bit early on that last section, so having to hold it a bit longer to show that same similarity across the centre line. Yeah, the horse just looking a bit more settled now and just softening for Lotte. Able to show those circles off. It's not quite using the corners so much, but super strides in that medium trot there. Really, she's really riding for the marks today. Really taking the handbrake off and riding for those big marks, putting the power in. And they very nicely put that little blip going around the edge behind them. Yeah, nice circle this way. A better shape and size than the previous rider. Nice placement again, just looking for that centre line as she comes to the end of her test. And a good final halt and a big sigh of relief from Lotte. Big pats, big cheers from the Dutch team. Their other riders will all go tomorrow, so Lotte's the first of those Dutch riders to compete at this championship. So they compete in the 4s and 5s tomorrow. And this horse just showing some really nice consistency through the test. She's not the biggest moving, but shows some real quality throughout the movements. And just so consistent from start to finish, really keeping her in a nice balance. And they know each other so well, she can really get stuck in and really ride her. There's Joyce, the Dutch team trainer, Just giving her a pat of encouragement. So the score's coming through 72.533. So very close between the top three now, but that puts her into bronze medal position. She sits just behind Melanie Wienand for Germany on 72.6 and Chiara Zenati holding that top spot on 72.9. So she is guaranteed a medal at this championship with just 2 riders left to go in this class. A very, very good result for her. And very close between those top 3 podium spots. Just 0.4 between bronze and gold at the moment. But the next rider in is likely to change that. Representing Denmark, the reigning European, World and Paralympic champion in this grade. And he will be coming forward in just a couple of minutes' time for his individual European test, riding the 15-year-old mare Jolene Hill. So his top horse, who he partnered to those multiple gold medals over the last few years. Very, very established combination. Just see them doing their final preparation as he gets ready to come through. So Tobias on the team alongside his mum this year. Alina will compete tomorrow in the grade 5. A real family event for those two. And Tobias, in a very good position for this championship, also had a direct reserve. And the only person to beat him this year is himself on this second horse. So a very, very strong place coming into this championship. A very nice place to be as a rider. But Jolene was fully fit, so she gets to continue her championship campaign. And a really striking horse. She has a lot of power, a lot of presence, very elegant, and Tobias sits on the horse very nicely. So entering the arena for Denmark, Tobias Thorning Joergensen and Jolene Hill. And a very brief halt. Square, but not hanging around. And this horse can score really high for this trot work. Tobias really good at keeping the horse engaged uphill and in a super balance throughout these movements. You can just see him just using a bit of leg to keep the horse in the right place through these movements. And super medium trot here, really covering the ground. There's not a lot to take away from the trot work when it goes like this. You just getting a little bit on the forehand there. You just saw it bearing down a bit on the rein, and he had to give a little bit of a half halt and say, come back here, stay in self-carriage. You just saw that in that downwards transition into halt, just a little bit Not quite on the seat, a little bit too much on that rein. Just saying, come on, stay up. Carry your own head. Nicely into this walk, just taking his time. And he starts putting the horse in that shoulder fore positioning, starts preparing for the pirouette. Just see him using a little bit of leg, so stay active. Just lost a little bit of the positioning to the left, but stayed in a good place and showing some nice stretch here. Just really looking for that V shape between the legs to show that 4-beat rhythm. Just slightly better positioning that way and nicely up into the trot. So she stays in a very nice and open frame, but just having to work a little bit to stop her from getting it on the forehand and leaning on the rein too much. Should be showing that self-carriage, and you can just see it through some of the transitions to be super critical for those high marks, but still doing a really super job of balancing her through this trot work, through the movements, and showing off her that lovely swing and cadence in the trot. And just able to sit in a really nice place in the saddle and really help the horse. Super into the medium. She just comes up in front and lifts to lengthen those strides. Again, just having to make those really subtle adjustments as she tries to get a little bit long and a bit on that forehand. But he's so quick to do that, keeping that balance and rhythm throughout. Just such a lovely partnership and such an impressive horse. You can see how they've scooped up so many medals over the years. And they just trust each other completely, and a real partnership. Just see there, he had to do a slight adjustment as he undershot the centre line from that circle. But a good final halt and good immobility. Big pats for Jolene. Another super test from this pair. And big whoops from the Danish supporters. And she's so used to this atmosphere. She walks out on a long rein, chilled as anything. There's ears going. She's always listening, always willing. I think he said once he gets the feeling she'd walk through fire for him, and you really do get that from her. She's such a genuine mare. Just always looks on side. And that's a really nice place to be in when you go in the arena and you know that you have that. You can really ride, really trust what you're sat on. And there we have it, a big score of 77.767, and shoots into the lead to the top of that leaderboard. Not completely unexpected. We had high hopes for this combination, but you do have to do it on the day. and to keep coming in and delivering that performance is very, very impressive. So Denmark top of the leaderboard in that gold medal position, looking to repeat his win a couple of years ago. Those 2019 Europeans. Scores of up to 80% in that straight test. Chiara Zenati for France sits in silver, also guaranteed a medal with just one rider left to go. And Germany's Melanie Wienand sits in bronze on 72.633 with just one rider left to go, hoping she can hang on to that bronze medal position for Germany's third medal of the day. And that would be a very impressive feat for Germany if she is able to do that. The Netherlands' Lotte just sat in fourth, unfortunately, just outside the medals. So I'm sure she'll be a little disappointed with that, with it being so close, but so close between second and fourth place. Just 0.4 in it. And our last rider comes forward into the arena in this grade 3, representing Spain. Spain's second rider in this grade. So opting to canter around the edge of the arena. So canter's not in the grade 3 test, but riders can canter in the freestyle. A lot of these riders also competing in able-bodied classes as well, so you'll see over the next couple of days riders not just competing in para, doing some able-bodied competitions as well. So lots of the grade 3 riders will canter, either in their warm-up as part of their warming up process, or some of them might in the freestyle too. But representing Spain, the final rider in this grade 3 individual, we have Carla Onrubia Roman riding the 20-year-old gelding Fuestano. Showing some good placement in this trot work, being careful not to let the quarter swing out as she comes back to that centre line. Really using her corners and some super steps in this medium. The horse really striding out, just getting a little bit tense towards the end as she rode that transition back, but really making those transitions obvious. Nicely into the leg yield. Oh, just one step, just a little bit not quite squared up. Just willing the horse to take that tiny half step to be perfectly square, but good mobility, obediently back. Just wanting a little bit more relaxation, a little bit more softness over the back in this walk. The horse just a tiny bit of tension and anxiety, just causing them to come back a little bit in the rein. You can just see him ducking a bit behind in the bridle and just swinging round through that turn on the haunches, not really sitting and bending around the rider's leg. You want to see the quarters turning. Almost like a half pass positioning around So you have that body bend, you keep the walk rhythm, and the horse keeps stepping. So better positioning there. Kept stepping, just a little bit quick into it. But much better positioning that way, and nicely into the trot. So just a little bit late going into that walk, so you want to be walking across that centre line so that you're ready to pick up the trot on the straight before you turn. Yeah, much better this time. So you just saw she didn't quite get that reaction until after the centre line, so she had even less room to fit that walk in. And when you have a bigger moving horse, you just run out of space. But she was luckily able to get that in, get those clean transitions. So again, just needing to show a little bit more suppleness for those circles. The horse just a little bit straight in the body and then needing to swing out a bit to get around it rather than able to bend around it. But some super steps in these mediums. It's got real ability to extend, which is really nice to see, and really keen to go as soon as she lets them go. Just really wants to take her. Just falling a bit through that left shoulder this way. Just want to keep the horse parallel through that leg yield. But just saw the quarters trailing a little bit and the shoulders reaching the track first. Again, the horse just gradually settling a little bit more towards the end of the circle. Just want a bit more relaxation. Just get that slightly lengthened, more lengthened stride. But really doing a good job of moving from side to side. Setting him up for this final centre line. This final halt. And a very nice final halt to finish, and a super job. She looks thrilled. A very good job for Spain. Big pats. And big cheers from the supporters coming out. So a really nice job with this horse, and still more to come, I think. Just shows some real quality and real potential with it. Showing that straighter leg yield to the right. And a very smiley face, a super job for Spain and this last rider to go in this grade 3 class. And a great job done there, I think. Big pats, but I don't think that will change the leaderboard at the top. We'll shortly bring that score to you. Here we go, 68.033. So that goes into 7th place for this individual. A very good start and a very good result for the rest of the week going through to that freestyle. But here are your top medalists. In gold, Tobias Thorning Joergensen, Jolene Hill for Denmark, 77.7. France take the silver with Chiara Zenati and Swing Royale on 72.9. And Germany get their 3rd medal of the day. In bronze, Melanie Wienand rides Lemonese Loverboy on 72.633. So Lotte just missing out on that medal, 0.1% behind bronze. But those are the top 3 for the day. And our final 3 medalists in today's individual competitions. So we will very shortly bring you the medal ceremonies for the grades 1s, 2s and 3s that have happened today at 5 o'clock.
Bitte die 4 Blumen. Ja. Ja, ich wollte gerade sagen, viel Bahn habe ich. Goes corner, yeah, I think that makes sense.
So we welcome you back for the first of these prize givings. You can see the medalists coming in now on these trolleys. The golf buggies bringing them in. So we'll have the grade 2 prize giving first, the first class of this first day at the European Championships. Here are our medalists making their way over to the podium. There's Georgia Wilson for Great Britain, who took that silver medal winning spot. And Anne-Catherine Lube for Norway, who was in that bronze medal position, 72.724. But right in the middle, representing Germany in front of a home crowd, is Heidemarie Dressing. She rode horse 24 Dulup to a winning score of 74.776%. Putting behind that early error, riding the wrong test, putting that behind her to produce some real quality work in the arena, and it's paid off with this European title and a gold medal. Team Germany had a very good day today, 3 medals from 3 classes. Looking very strong as individuals and as a team.
Here they are, the horses. Horse 24 Dulup and Stromseke Sipa, Sakura, and Kim Marson, Lakosa Melon,
and in come those very, very special horses that carried these riders onto this podium. There's Georgia's ride, Sakara, with groom Beth Revel. Heidemarie's horse 24 Dulup.
Thank you very much all.
You can just see behind there.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce our top 3 athletes to you. The bronze medal for Norway. Congratulations, Anne-Catherine Lopez.
The bronze medal for Norway, Anne-Catherine Lube. Her first season in this grade 2, having been reclassified earlier this year. And there we have that bronze medal. So in the lineup we have FEI representative Mr. Ronan Murphy, the FEI director of dressage, paradressage and vaulting. We have the judge from C, Anne Pran from France, and the representative of the organising committee, Mr. Carsten Luteken, the event director. Here we have our new European champion 2023 for grade 2 for Germany.
Your medals given by Mr. Roman Murphy as FEI representative and as FEI director dressage, paradressage and vaulting. And he is accompanied by your class.
They're receiving their medals and those winning bouquets. three very happy medalists on that podium. They've waited all day for this presentation. They were first in this morning.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are able to, please rise for the national anthem of Germany.
German national anthem and gold for Germany for this grade 2 individual class.
First of all, we can say a big thank you to the groups and above all to the 40,002 horses.
Austria's Peppo Pook just missing out in fourth to break up that all-girls podium. The all-female podium for this grade 2. And a very good result for Germany at this home championship. They get back in the buggies, ready for their lap of honour. As the horses are taken out of the arena, ready for their next competition in a couple of days. So here they go, your 3 medalists in the grade 2 competition. Gold for Germany, silver for Great Britain and bronze for Norway. Those super horses taken back to the stables for a well-earned rest, ready to come back out in 2 days' time. Great job by these grade 2 competitors. Finally get to enjoy their moment after riding first thing this morning. It was a long wait, I'm sure. We now have 2 more presentations. We still have the grade 1s from earlier today and the grade 3s that have just finished. The 3 sets of medalists, grade 4s and 5s competing tomorrow to complete the individual competition. But what a first day. And there will be a quick handover ready for as they prepare for the grade 1 prize giving. Tomorrow the individual competition continues, so grade 4s will go in the morning and grade 5s later on in the day. And then we start again with the team competition in a couple of days. So all riders will compete in the team competition because the scores from this individual competition and the team competition will be combined for riders to qualify through for the freestyle on Saturday. So scores from the individual not counting towards the team will start again with a blank page in a couple of days' time with the grade 1s, 2s and 3s again. But those scores will be combined to qualify through for the music on Saturday. So it gives all riders a second chance in the arena, whether they're on the team or not, which is a great progress. If they've had a slightly not so great day today, they've got time to pick it back up in a couple of days' time. So a really exciting week of para dressage still to come. And I think we'll get a very good insight about what sort of scores we might be able to expect from some of the teams. So Germany putting themselves in a very strong place with 3 medalists on this first day and some super scores. But it all comes down to what happens on the day. So we now welcome the grade 1 competitors for their individual medal ceremony. And here they come. Sat at the front, Latvia's Richard Snickers, another rider who took the gold despite an error, of course, for Latvia on that huge score of 75.250. Germany's second medal, this time silver, with Martina Benzinger riding the 17-year-old mare Nautica with a huge score again of 74.833. And Gabby Blake for Great Britain at her championship debut takes the bronze medal, 74.583, very, very close at the top. She will be delighted with that. She said it was one of her best tests to date, and what a time to do it at the European Championships. Big, big cheers for Richard. He's a very well-known competitor in the para dressage world and the friendliest, loveliest rider. Always has that big grin or that concentrating game face on. But so welcoming, so supportive of his fellow athletes. Another great result for Team Germany at this home championship. And there in bronze, Gabby Blake for Great Britain. Championship debut and a bronze medal on day 1. What a start. That will give us so much confidence going forwards for the rest of the week.
Here they are. Let's welcome the 4-leg as the team of the dance. This one coming on
Whatever happens, you're going home as a medalist. No one can take that away. It's a huge relief to be able to pull something like that out of the bag on day 1. They bring in those special horses for their moment in the spotlight too.
And the representative of the organising committee, Mr. Carmen, Lotte Krijnsen, event director.
Such a huge team behind all of these athletes. All of us need so many people to make this possible.
Great Britain, very big congratulations to Carmen.
There's 3 horses, 2 greys in the lineup. King of the dance stood proudly in the middle. He's done this before. And again, we welcome Mr. Ronan Murphy, the FEI Director of Dressage, Power Dressage and Vaulting as the FEI representative. This time the judge at sea, Sarah Leach from Great Britain. And the representatives of the organising committee, Mr. Carson Lutkin, the event director. But here we have our gold medalist for Latvia.
Warmest congrats to all of you, ladies and gentlemen. And now, if you can, please rise for the national anthem of Latvia.
And here are your 3 medalists for this Grade 1 individual championship. Great Britain in bronze, Germany in silver, and Latvia in that gold medal spot.
First of all, congratulations on behalf of Mr. Carson Lutkin as event director, accompanied by the judge, Mrs. Sarah Leach.
Judge at sea there, Sarah Leach, congratulating Gabby. Bronze medal at your championship debut. But gold for Latvia, second medal, silver for Germany. Riyadh enjoying the moment. Not his first medal, but definitely means as much. So much work goes into this, those few minutes in the arena. You just hope that it all comes together. A super job from all 3 riders. And here come the golf buggies ready to collect them. for their lap of honour. So good to see such a nice turnout for this medal ceremony. They still had a bit of a wait after their class, but I'm sure it was well worth it.
Diego is helping you to enter the golf.
Here they go, just making their way over to the golf buggies. And they'll be back in a couple of days' time, ready for that team competition to begin. Rihard, the only Latvian rider here, so riding again as an individual to secure that qualification spot into the freestyle final. And the other riders coming forward for that team competition. That will start in 2 days' time. But we still have one more day of individual competition for the grade 4s and 5s tomorrow, so 2 more sets of medalists, 2 more European champions still to be crowned tomorrow and decided. And the grade 3 ceremony from today will follow shortly. But first, the grade 1 lap of honour for our 3 medalists.
Ladies and gentlemen, please clap your hands for our top 3, and this is your lap of honor gold.
And here they go. And it's bronze for Great Britain, silver for Germany, and gold for Latvia. Germany and Great Britain, 2 medals so far at this championship. But it's Latvia who topped this grade 1 individual championship. There he goes. Waving to the crowd, ever the showman, just taking in every moment and enjoying it. A great job with his partner, King of the Dance. And that is 2 ceremonies down, 1 more left to go for the grade 3 who recently finished.
And there will be 1 more.
They will be into the arena shortly as we crown a 3rd European champion for today. Germany back on the podium for the 3rd time today, having a great first day at this championship. France with their first medal and Denmark with their first medal too. A very busy first day of competition with these 3 individual medal classes. And we'll be back tomorrow with the grade 4s and 5s, riding in that long arena. The big classes tomorrow. We'll start to see the introduction of canter work for the grade 4s. So just seeing walk and trot today for these lower grade tests in this 20x40. A really nice turnout here for the ceremonies. Some big support teams behind these riders, and here they are. The grade 3 medalists come into the arena. Tobias for Denmark sat at the front there, taking that gold medal on a massive 77.767% with his long-term partner Jolene Hill. Chiara Zenati sat in the golf buggy behind him, taking that silver medal for France with Swing Royale on a 72.9%. And for Germany, their 3rd medal of the day, they take bronze for Melanie Wienand on Lebanese Loverboy on a score of 72.633, just 0.1% ahead of 4th place, Lotte for the Netherlands. So close between those 2nd to 4th places. Such a tiny difference between 5 judges. The difference between a silver medal and 4th place. So tight, so tough for the riders. But these 3 riders are very happy to be on that podium. Crowd really getting hyped up. It's been a beautiful day there. And I think they're in for a hot week weather-wise and a hot week of competition. And in come those superstar horses to get the recognition they really deserve. Here they are, Jolene Hill in the middle there, Swing Royale for Chiara Zenati, and Lebanese Loverboy for Melanie of Germany.
For Germany, Melanie Wienand, congratulations.
And the bronze medal goes to Germany on that fab score of 72.633. We welcome back Mr. Ronan Murphy, the FEI Director of Dressage, Para-Dressage and Vaulting as the FEI representative. This time the judge at C was Ms. Ineke Janssen, and the representative of the organising committee, Mr. Carsten Ludken, the event director, to present those medals. The gold medal for Denmark goes to Tobias Thorning Joergensen on that huge score of 77.767%. The highest score of the day in this grade 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise if you can for the national anthem of Denmark.
Danish supporters very happy about this result. Some super riding we've seen today. Some very nice horses. And very nice tests. What a great start to this Dressage European Championships. There you have it. Bronze for Germany, silver for France, and gold for Denmark. Just see Jolene's watching on just behind. Chiara's ride. Swing Royale, just getting in that shot there.
Yes, please.
Taking it all in, enjoying his moment.
And meanwhile, we say bye-bye to the wonderful horses.
And a great end to a super first day of competition.
And here they go.
9 new medalists, 3 new European champions. Tobias retaining his European title from 2019. As those horses leave the arena and they get ready for their lap of honour.
Is prepared, enjoy folks. This is your lap of honour.
And off they go. three very happy riders, enjoying their moment. They didn't have to wait very long after their class, but they did have to wait all day to compete. And here they go. Great job by all riders and a great job by all their teams behind them as well. What a first day of competition.
Continue enjoying wonderful Eastback International. We will be back tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Have a lovely evening.
And that is the end of this first day of competition at the European Championships. We will be back tomorrow for the grade 4s and the grade 5s to start their individual campaign. So have a great evening. We will see you tomorrow.